An update in the Deonte Carraway case. Good evening. This is CTV News. I'm Byron Scott.
And I'm Patricia Vallone. Thank you for joining us this evening. Well, we do have new details in the Deonte Carraway case.
The former teacher's aide is now facing federal and state charges related to the alleged sexual abuse of multiple children.
Our Sonia Shrivastava is joining us now with the details.
Yeah, Patty and Byron, you know, this story is just getting so much response, a lot of anger in the community. And today, I just returned actually from a press conference in Greenbelt where officials announced that 22-year-old Deonte Carraway will be charged with 8 counts of producing child pornography involving 6 minor victims who range from ages 9 to 11 years old.
In some instances, the children allegedly are having sex with the defendant. In other cases, the children allegedly are having sex with each other, prompted by or encouraged by the defendant. And of course, the instances that are alleged in our federal complaint are all instances that are recorded on devices or in a device that was recovered in the course of the investigation.
Now, we have learned that Prince George's State's Attorney Angela Alster-Brooks also returned an indictment against Carraway for child sexual abuse and several additional charges, and today's indictment is for 1 victim.
To convey to you just how devastating it is for the children in these cases who must be interviewed by us, how devastating and difficult and how painful it is for the parents who must make their children available to us. And so we have a dual goal in these cases, and that is to first of all make sure that we remove this threat from our community.
My primary concern continues to be understanding how Mr. Carraway manufactured trust and then abused that trust with the community to have access to victims, whether he did that in collaboration with other individuals, and to this point we have no indication that he has, but that continues to be a focus of our investigation, and how he financed that.
Now, we should mention that each of the 8 federal counts carry a maximum of 30 years and a minimum of 15 years. If he was convicted just on the federal charges, he could get 120 years behind bars. And once again, parents are being asked to be vigilant and check your child's phone. And, you know, we could not emphasize this enough. You know, they were saying it's okay to be nosy. It's okay to go into that phone. And Kik is the app that was used in some of these recordings, and they're telling us that there are many other apps that are just like that. So keep an eye on those phones.
All right, and this is 1 victim only, so obviously more charges are pending?
Yes, so we should tell you that they have now identified 17 victims, and they are actually, there are 17 victims, there are 4 locations, and now they're telling us that there are videos that they're still going through. So you may recall when all of this came out, they told us that close to 40 videos were recovered. So they're telling us that piece by piece, you know, people are very anxious. They want to know what's going on. They want to know how he got in. But they're telling us that to be patient because this investigation is going to take a while.
All right. Well, thank you so much, Sonia.
Sure.
Well, a Maryland legislator is planning to introduce a bill permitting school districts to view the juvenile records of prospective employees. State Senator C. Anthony Muse is sponsoring the legislation. This comes on the heels of the Deonte Carraway child pornography case. Carraway has a juvenile record which was not discovered during his employment background check.
We can represent them fairly and accurately. So, yes.
State lawmakers hold hearings in Annapolis on bills dealing with police accountability and prisoner transport. Baltimore Mayor Stephanie Rawlings Blake was among the 280 people signed up to testify before the House Judiciary Committee this afternoon. The legislation includes dozens of recommendations from a policing work group formed after the Baltimore riots following the death of Freddie Gray. Some proposed changes apply to the Law Enforcement Officers' Bill of Rights and extending the time residents have to file brutality complaints. Delegate Kurt Anderson's part of the work group, which also recommends periodic psychological evaluations for officers.
Has been taken away.
Training of police officers is an overwhelming change that's got to happen in terms of changing the culture of what's going on with policing, where they recruit, where they get police officers from, and then the changes in the LAOBR, which is 10-day rule includes. The bill says it'll go down to 5 days. It seems to be a compromise that everybody can live with.
periodic psychological evaluation clearly should not be authorized. I mean, the ADA has stated that, for reason, for cause, you can do that, but the idea that basically you're just going to arbitrarily just have an individual and mandate that they have to go ahead and meet with a psychiatrist, I think is a little bit overreaching.
Critics say the comprehensive legislation needs more work, including possibly breaking it up into smaller parts.
A family of 7 is lucky to be alive after a fire rips through their Riverdale home. Officials say the blaze happened about 10 this morning in the 6600 block of Oliver Street. One firefighter suffered a minor burn. 6 adults and 1 child were home at the time. They have been displaced, but all of them got out safely. The cause of the blaze is still unknown. Meantime, firefighters battle a blaze at a commercial property in Upper Marlboro. It happened about 11:30 this morning at Fort Knox Self-Storage in the 15,400 block of Depot Lane. Once rescue crews arrived, they found a few rooms engulfed in flames. The blaze quickly swept through the second floor, turning the 2-alarm fire into 3 alarms. Officials say incidents at the storage facilities pose a greater threat because of uncertainties as to what's inside each unit.
We just don't know what's in them. Almost anything could be stored in these lockers. In addition to most of the lockers being full of combustible materials, being furniture, boxes, clothing, papers.
Now, no one was injured. The cause and estimated damage are being investigated.
An SUV smashes into a daycare facility in Largo. Now, according to the officials, the incident happening at around 7:30 this morning on the 9700 block of Prince Place, the driver suffering non-life-threatening injuries. No one inside the building was hurt. The cause of the accident is still under investigation. And you are watching CTV News. I'm Byron Scott.
And I'm Patricia Vallone.